Hi there, Mariah.
Hello.
How are you, my Ukrainian sister?
I'm all right, thank you. And how are you?
I'm okay. Um, what did I say to my dad on Father's Day? I put it in my post. It was like El Tabaya, like something for I love you. I hope I said it right.
Ah, was it
I
in
don't know.
Ukrainian? So
Yeah,
you're
I was trying to say it in Ukrainian to him, but anyway, because my dad speaks, but he used to speak a little bit to us when I was a little girl, but I don't remember a lot of it. So
but that's
I ended
still
up,
cool.
yeah, I ended up speaking more French. I speak French, so, but
Okay. So you
not
know,
sure why.
so you can speak English, French, and a little bit of Ukrainian.
Oh yeah, a little bit of a lot of things. You know,
Yeah.
I like to travel and learn a little bit of a lot of things and keywords like Greek. I know Segapo. Um, Tagalog. I know mahal kita. You know, and
Cool.
hindi opo and Japanese. I know my domo arigato gozaimashita and various different things and even like some Farsi and yeah, yeah. Just I like to pick up something, and keep it
In
with
mind.
me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
well, it's nice to connect with people and they say they're from somewhere and you know how to say something in their language. I think it's nice.
Yeah, it's a
So
nice idea. So
yeah,
if you're ready, we can start
yeah,
the
yeah,
interview. All right.
yeah.
Hello, dear viewers. Today, my guest is an incredible Canadian singer, songwriter, Chantal Kreviazuk, if we pronounce it in Ukrainian. But I heard that a lot of people usually pronounce your surname like Kreviazuk. But here I'll say it Kreviazuk. So, hello, Chantal.
I like hearing my name said properly. It really gets me going.
But it's an honor. Okay, so
The honor is mine. The honor is mine.
We will start with the first question, and unfortunately, more than 2 years have passed since the beginning of Russia's aggression against Ukraine. So, what do you assume about this?
Hmm. I assume about this that when we now see the brazen, unconscionable, um, right out in the open, Putin is now past he was pushing the envelope, and now he has collided um, the envelope into something. I think that could really start to make a change because when he's got ships pulling up in Cuba, this is just he's just flipping the bird at the world community and really making, I think, the statement that in world order his wishes to be number one. And I think, it brings to my mind like the fact that eh, it's too bad we're in this system where, world order has to be about one country ruling more than another or maybe Bera, maybe not right now if it's okay. Just maybe in like uh, 10 minutes. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. It's too bad that we live in a system where we have to vie for this position and
Hmm.
that we can figure out, I mean, I'm a bit of a philosophical thinker and I don't mean to go too deep, but in my wishes, in my dreams, we understand that we're all on this crazy rock hurtling through space together and that we should be thinking about ways to uh, serve each other, help each other to have a quality of life while we are lucky enough to be here. I cannot believe that these people who are so sick, they are thinking of a fictitious future because the way that Putin behaves, you think he's going to live for 1,000 years,
Yeah.
but he's not. He's going to live for maybe a few more years, if that. And he can't take everything with him. He's sick. He's a hoarder.
Yeah.
He's an addict to power. And wouldn't it be so cool if you could think about, oh, yes, I am going to have a legacy of 1,000 years, but I'm not going to live for 1,000 years. I'm going to have a legacy. And because of that legacy, I can do things, so many things that are so wonderful for so many people. Like, it's just baffling to me that there you are. And this is the best you can do. I'm just I'm so completely blown away that someone is living in such evil and darkness, and that they have not even seen a shard of light, and the power that even just a little shard of light can have to push someone into making a good choice. There's just no good choices here whatsoever. But again, once the ships are now sailing into Cuba, I think that it's going to, you know, really, I think it's going to be the beginning of us seeing the West having to do what was always inevitable. So I'm regretful that we didn't just have to look at the writing on the wall from the very beginning and understand that this is where it was going. So do something now. And as it has been said to me, you know, Putin Putin just responds well to someone pushing him back. So it would have been better, I suppose, to have just push back. But what I will also say, Mariah, is that one of the things that has overwhelmed me, watching all of this play out, is the character of the Ukrainian, the character of the, and the personality of Ukraine, and the grace under fire, the class, the relentless commitment to that grace has astounded me and inspired me. And it's really aroused something in me as a human being, to do better and be better in my own way, whatever that may look like on any given day. Um, I don't want to, point fingers, but I think that we can see where the grace of the Ukrainian is so prevalent, it's so obvious in contrast to um, how we're seeing other scenes play out in the world sort of landscape right now. And I'm very, very, very proud to be a daughter of Ukraine for that reason.
Thank you for saying these words, and I really love your ideas and thinking, and I completely agree with it. So
Oh, thank you.
act now before it's too late, and I hope that in the near future this war will end soon. So I really have a faith in it, and that
Yeah.
we will return our territories, our people, our children, which Russia took illegally to Russian families, which is
By
crazy.
the way, by the way, I can't talk about it, but I have had the most flooring past 72 hours where I am personally a part of an effort to return children from Russia to Ukraine.
That's
I'm not
amazing.
kidding. I'm not kidding you. I cannot believe that the words and communications that are on my devices are occurring. And what I will say from the experience that I'm having, um, putting my best foot forward, helping in the war effort, is to all my friends out there, you know, um, you don't understand until you try what your purpose might be. I had no idea that I could find myself in such purpose over these past several days and even the past few years, but certainly in the past few days. Um, it's been really quite surreal. But I want to tell people, just try things, because you have more purpose and power than you realize to have a positive impact. And until, I think sometimes people say, "Oh, well, what can I do?"
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, if you start where you are with what is literally like just poke a little bit, you're going to find that it will snowball, and your purpose is really going to come through. I don't know how else to describe it, but I've been really inspired this past week by spending time with Alexandra Medvedchuk and getting to know her and the team and the purpose over at the Center for Civil Liberties. And they're very much in my heart now with their efforts, documenting the forensics of the war crimes, and helping with locating kids. And so that's something that I had no idea that I was going to be called upon, to be a part of. And I'm I don't know how else to just I'm just following the call.
But still, I think it's a great impact. So I'm really thankful and grateful. I think thanks to people like you who are willing to do something to help Ukraine, we are coming near our victory in this war. So I'm so, so grateful. And it's really nice to hear that a person like you does things like this to help Ukrainian children and my country. Like, thank you very much
Ah,
from the bottom of my heart. So,
yeah,
yeah, but we will start with your childhood, and you were born in Winnipeg, which is Manitoba, Canada. And I wanted to ask you what was your childhood like there, and could you tell us about your Ukrainian roots, please?
Okay, so my great grandpa Nicholas came over from Ukraine with four other heads of family, um, and they were given plots of land that was supposedly similar to that of Ukraine to work the fields, and they became potato farmers. Um, and they also, I think, were like pretty much enslaved at the time in Manitoba to create the infrastructure of Manitoba. So this was not a happy life. In fact, the all of the heads of family one by one took their lives, and my
Mhm.
great grandfather was one of them. So it's important people understand that I come from generational trauma. I come from, my dad was there when my grandfather took his life. My dad was raised by my Gigi, who, along with my dad's other 12 kids, brothers and sisters, raised them after coming from such a story of perseverance, but also of suffering. So this is from the Holodomor, and I
Oh,
know that
yeah.
there were sort of two sections of the Holodomor.
Yeah, yeah.
So this would have been from the first, in the 20s, I believe.
Inserted. So by the way, my great grandma, she still lives. I think she is
Uh,
96,
Yeah,
97, and she
sure.
survived the Holodomor, like both. So yeah.
Yeah, so my dad is 83, so that would mean that my Gigi would have been about 105 now. So their Holodomor would have been the one right before, probably, because I think there was like a decade or something in between. So yeah, and so my dad had 12 brothers and sisters and in their family, and he was the only one. He was the second born, and he helped on the farm from when he was very little, and helped my baba. My baba passed away when her youngest was about 11 years old, and I was in my mom's belly. And I didn't get to meet my baba, but I think that she was probably quite extraordinary from what I am hearing about her from my father. She was a very godly woman, very
Yeah.
prayerful woman, and it was all about the family and providing. And so it sounds to me like she had that Ukrainian strength. All the women in my dad's family they're all tall. I'm pretty tall. I'm almost 5'8", and my children all have the Ukrainian height, not my husband's Italian side. So they're all very tall. They're all over 6 feet tall. Um, and handsome, if I don't say so myself. And so, well, what's interesting about Manitoba, if people want to know a little bit of the nuggets, I think, of the history, is that when the Ukrainians arrived, the only other people that were struggling as much as them were Canada's Indigenous people, believe
Mhm.
it or not. We have a lot of history and trauma and problems with how the Europeans came and took,
Yeah.
their Canada, and so by the time the Ukrainians arrived, the indigenous had been smushed to smithereens, to nothingness, and to low value on the food chain. And they were kind to the Ukrainians, and they sort of matched up with them a lot. And so I am the product of, on my mother's side, my grandfather, Walter Woloschuk, was
Mhm.
Ukrainian, but my grandma was what we call country marriage or Métis. And so my grandmothers on my mother's side, they were um, five generations. Is the first one was a Pistisquasish, and then Mathkukuman Eskew, and then my great grandmother Alice, who was a survivor of one of the residential schools in Manitoba called the
Mm.
Elkhorn Residential School, and then my grandmother Isabel, who is like my soulmate, and then my mom, and then me. And then my grandmother married my grandfather, Walter Woloschuk. So now I'm mostly Ukrainian. I'm mostly Ukrainian with that one side of me that is very mixed, European and Métis. And what is so interesting about Manitoba is there's a lot of me. There's a lot of women that are this, that come from this line of Ukrainians and Métis. So it's very interesting, and they're very beautiful women. Stop. Anyway, but so this is an extraordinary rich heritage that I feel very proud of, to have. And really, what a surviving um, bloodline. When you think about the harsh situation, my Métis grandmothers, my Indian, my indigenous grandmothers would have had up in the tundra, in the Arctic. Ugh, cold, no electricity. It's unbelievable what they survived, had children who survived. And then, of course, these Ukrainian people who came. Now, also, there's two more little things that I love to share about Manitoba. There's the most Ukrainians in the diaspora
Oh, really?
outside of Russia and Ukraine are there. 1 in 7 people in Manitoba, where I'm from, are Ukrainian. One in
Oh my God,
seven.
that's
150
crazy.
countries. People come from all over the world. They send them to Manitoba, and 1 in 7 is of Ukrainian descent. Yeah, and then finally, I don't know exactly the logistics of this, but apparently the sunflower was a gift from the Indigenous people and a gift from
Oh,
Canada to Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Yeah, so
Wow.
the bond, the connection is really deep rooted, deep seated
Wow.
between Ukraine and Canada.
Wow, I really didn't know this. Thank you for sharing.
We have to look it up a little better. Sometimes I learn a story. I think I have to learn this exact story several times for it to really
Mhm.
sink in. But yeah. But there's obviously better details to the story. But I do know that this is true, that the sunflower was a gift from
Wow.
from the Canadians. Yeah,
Like,
amazing.
like actually, sunflower is a symbol of Ukraine, so it is.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yes, that's
So I'm
interesting
not
to hear.
sure. I'm not sure if the seeds went over and then I'm not sure exactly, or the symbol of it was from. I'm not sure. We have to find out. Okay, Mariah.
Okay, so you played music from a young age before
Yes.
signing with Columbia Records. Your debut
Yeah.
studio album, Under These Rocks and Stones, was first released
Yeah.
in Canada in 1996 and saw commercial success before being issued in the United States. Have you always dreamt of connecting your life with making the music professionally and such a success in it? And what did you feel then?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just had such a natural ability to sit at the piano and play absolutely anything. There was an old upright antique piano in my Baba and Gigi's farmhouse, which the family still owns the house, and the piano I think is still there. And I actually recently during COVID I bought one just the same, an Emerson, just like that one from the 1800s for my own studio. I'm not sitting at it right now, um, but I love it. It- it's very, very it gives me so much nostalgia to play such an old piano, like the one in the farmhouse growing up. And I was always just sitting there playing. I knew how to play before someone showed me. Does that make sense? Like
Mhm.
I knew what the notes were. I just knew where to find the melody by myself from when I was 3, and it was
Wow.
extraordinary. Yeah, it was definitely like, I try not to be jaded when other people come to me and they say, "My daughter is really learning, and we put her in lessons." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, how old is she?" "She's 11," and I'm like, "Yeah, good luck with that." Like, I was 3, and I already knew. So, it's weird. It's almost like I was born and it
So
already the chip was in there or something. I'm not sure how,
a
but then
pure
my
talent.
parents yeah, it was just natural. I don't get it. I really don't understand. Something clicked somewhere. I wish I knew. I do remember that my grandma, Isabel, on my mom's side, and my grandfather, Walter Woloschuk, they were a duo. And my grandpa played the fiddle, and my
Mhm.
grandmother played the mouth harp, also called the harmonica. And they would sit across from each other in their little kitchen and they would jam. And I would be this like little toddler and sitting on my grandpa's lap and just bouncing while they played together. And this is my first memory. So
Wow, cool.
I'm not sure. And then of course at my Baba and Gigi's, the piano was there too. And the weekend meant we left the city because my father was the first one to move to the city.
Okay.
And so we would leave the city and we would go to the farm community where my parents were from. And we would spend time at my Baba and Gigi's, and we would spend time at my grandma and grandpa's house. And the from when I was born, the music was a central part of the space, of both spaces. So I'm not sure how this happened to me, but I knew. And I have upteen cousins and all sorts of relatives, and there was not somebody else that garnered a life in music. I mean, I made a life in music. It was just without question. Whatever that is. I sometimes try to think to myself, did I want to be a famous musician? Did I did I want my profession to be like, how did I
End
wrap
up.
my head around that? I don't exactly know, but I do know that it was just like a tsunami for me that was undeniable. And I needed to do that. There wasn't anything else would have just been like, what? Why are you doing that? Do you know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
didn't make sense. So I don't know. I mean, and it's very strange to me because today in the world, you can feel that maybe and have so much talent, but there's 100,000 songs being released a day on Spotify. So I don't know how one that is, like how does the wheat separate from the chaff today? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how I did it then. I mean, I was from Manitoba. Maybe it's just that it's meant to be like that. I'm not sure.
I have another theory, but it's might sound funny, but uh, I think, for example, a lot of Ukrainians,
No,
who I know, they are mostly of them are talented in music. So I think it can be explained on a biological level. So
I think so.
I
Yeah.
think music is a part of Ukrainian DNA. So maybe it is also a good explanation for that you could like feel the notes and piano and music at an age 3, which is crazy when you like.
I love the Ukrainian national anthem.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
It's so beautiful. I didn't mean to interrupt, but when you
No,
said the Ukrainian biology, I immediately thought of the anthem. I
yeah,
had to put my
yeah,
fingers on the
because
piano.
it is a
So
part of our
beautiful.
Ukrainian identity, so
It's
definitely.
so beautiful. I think that anthem, I like the American anthem too very much. But the Ukrainian anthem is gorgeous. Yeah. Ah.
So I can hear only a little bit. I think it is because of the sound, right?
I wonder if it's like, yeah, Zoom is so weird with the.
Only a little bit.
It's not working.
No, but if you want, you can send me the recording, so it would be also
Ooh.
useful for this interview.
Oh, I would love to do that. That would
If
be
you want,
beautiful.
yes, you can do this because
Okay.
maybe I should sing then a Ukrainian anthem at the end. So we will see. Because I prepared the song for you, but I think Ukrainian anthem will do. All right. So
Okay.
so we are going next to the next question.
Yes.
Along
Sure.
with releasing your own albums, Color Moving and Still in 1999, and What If It All Means Something in 2002, you started writing many songs for other artists such as Avril Lavigne, rapper Drake, Shakira, Britney Spears, and others. Please tell us about this experience with working with these outstanding people.
Woo! I don't know if they're outstanding or they're standing out.
Ah, okay.
It's all I can tell you about the experience is that it takes bravery. It's not for the faint of heart. If I could go back now and do it all again with the knowledge that I have now, um, I'm not sure that I would look at it quite the same. The experiences I was having, only because I was younger when a lot of those experiences happened, and I was much more taking things, at the personal level for the age of development I was at, and my expectations were very different then than they are now. That said, I do feel that I survived quite a lot of standout people, and I'm here with a smile, and I'm here intact, and I have to attribute that to, you know, I think my deep deep seated values for family. So it was important to me to um, mate and meet my partner in my husband, and to share a life with him. And I think doing that offered me the strength that I have needed to be able to stay the course of such a high pressure professional life,
Yeah.
because it is a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. Um, all that said, I mean, that sounds like I'm being a little bit negative, but I think that, today the Surgeon General of America issued, I'm not sure if you read the news on this, but they have issued an introductory, I think it's an introduction,
Hmm.
that they are going to do a warning, a Surgeon General's warning on social media.
Hmm.
So just like what they would put on a package of cigarettes or on alcohol, like the warning sign, is
Yeah.
going to go on the social media.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring that up is because all that glitters is not gold, right? And you know, we have to guard our hearts and our minds, and stay grounded. Stay in that which is um nurturing and nourishing, right? So um it's been a lot of pressure, but so was going out on stage. So was going out on stage. And now I don't feel the same pressure. I feel joy. I feel joy when I go out on stage. Uh, I feel joy when I am working with people. I don't feel the same. I feel so rooted in my own landscape, my own life. And so now I'm like, how did I do all that? Because I would think that this version of me, this is the one that I would have thought accomplished so many of the things that I've accomplished. But no, it was this young, brazen, tenacious, passionate Chantal. So yeah, so I'm proud of a lot of that work and accomplishment now. And I'm actually doing it all over again. I'm just going into like because I'm finished my long deal with Sony Publishing and I'm starting a new deal with another company. So it's going to be exciting to hopefully have some more make some more magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are looking forward to hearing it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Your work also has appeared on many soundtracks for films and television shows. Your
Mhm.
probably the most famous hit was a cover of Living on a Jet Plane. The song appeared on the soundtrack to the blockbuster film Armageddon in 1998, in which my last guest, Peter Stormare, great actor, brilliantly played the role of a Russian cosmonaut. By the way, this film was very popular in Ukraine at the time.
Okay, okay. Okay.
So, how difficult was it to pass the casting, and who made the final decision for you to?
Oh, well, I don't exactly know, except to say that I was home in Winnipeg from a lot of touring, like at the beginning of my career, because Sony, Columbia Records, like they were sending me to all the different places in the world to introduce me to the world Sony community. And it was very busy and exhausting. And I was finally at home in Winnipeg and I was in my bed resting, and my father was making a pot of borscht for me.
Oh, Borscht van Love. Yeah.
He was making a pot of borscht, and I'm so sad. My mom comes in my room and she says, "Honey, you have to take this call. It sounds like you have to go." And I took the call, and I had to go to the airport and fly to New York because I was going to be covering a John Denver song. I didn't know which song. And when I went to the airport, I had to buy my ticket right there and fly to New I mean, it was crazy.
Oh,
And yeah, anyway, I'm not sure. They probably wanted me to do the song because I was at the beginning of my work with Sony,
mm-hmm.
and they probably got a sense from my voice that it would be, like, good with the jet plane maybe? I'm not sure, but I do know that I was championed by Peter Asher, who was the head of international relations, and he had actually been one of the co-producers on my first album, Under These Rocks and Stones, and he was a big fan and very kind to me and treated me like family. He really believed in me, and so he was the producer of that, and I worked really hard on it to make it sound like my vision, which was this very romantic, sort of just delicious, kind of
Lyric.
yeah, like just lilt. Like I wanted it to have sort of something sensuous, almost hip hop, and it all came exactly out like I would have dreamed. I really am so happy with that recording.
That's great. You also have an experience of your own playing in films and working on television. So, which roles are the brightest for you there? And maybe could you remember a funny moments behind the scenes?
You mean doing acting things?
Yes.
Oh my. Okay, let me think for a second. For some reason I'm only thinking of the film Kiss and Cry, which I did with the lovely Canadian actress Sarah Fisher. She is the funniest person ever. She walks into the room and she is just like a freaking, I don't know, a combination between a thunderbolt and a, thunder and a lightning bolt. I mean, she is the true unison of these actions. And to be on set with her is just like giggles, 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 funny, 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 light, light, light. And I don't know how she gets through the day because she takes this light with her everywhere. She's remained a very close, dear friend and champion of mine. I've even been recording some music with her for her career, so hopefully that's going to come out really soon. So yeah, I think rather than it being one specific memory, I think it's just the amazing relationships that you make with people. Again, you don't know and you try something and then, boom, you have a friend for life and you have more purpose. It's really cool.
Do you know, by the way, any actresses, actors, musicians from Ukraine, and maybe you are friends with someone?
You know what? That's interesting that you should say that. Okay, wait a second. I'm going to have to just make sure I'm saying names properly.
Okay. Yeah.
Give 1 second. You're with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Just give me a moment. Just give me 1 moment. I'll flip my phone back the right way in a second.
It's all right. Take your time.
I want to make absolute sure that I'm saying everybody the right way.
No, actually, sometimes I also have worries if I pronounce the other name correctly, so I'm really worrying about it also.
There's an amazing woman in the diaspora who has been really kind, and her name is Zoriana Kitt. And she's been amazing. And then, of course, Mika Newton. Do you know
Yeah.
Mika Newton?
Yeah.
Yeah, she lives in Los Angeles, and I've had the pleasure of doing an event for Ukraine with her. And I'm trying to think if there's anyone else, Ukrainian from Ukraine right now. Gosh, I'm gonna get it wrong. Oh, there's an amazing band too. Oh my gosh, this amazing, amazing group. I even put them in. Oh yeah. Here, hang on a second.
Underkiller? Maybe.
They were. Okay, wait. They're called Balaclava Blues.
Okay.
Yeah, and the singer in it, the woman in it, is this girl from Ukraine, and she's married to a Canadian Ukrainian guy. And she is. Hang on a second. I wonder if I can get. Dang, I wish I had. Oh, I want her name for you because she's so incredible. Oh, Mariska
Marichka?
Marzik. Yeah. Do you know of her?
No, I don't know her, but I will
Okay,
take a look. Yeah.
yeah, Balaclava Blues. I mean, they have just this extraordinary music together as a duo. I mean, I love duos, right? So, anyway, but they're Ukrainian and beautiful. And I know that she suffered so much loss in her village with her family during this war. And she actually showed up at our Toronto gala to raise money for Unite with Ukraine at kind of the onset of the war. And she played and performed beautifully despite the fact that she had just lost immediate family members. And she showed up, the strength and grace again, right from the beginning of people. It's almost like it's like you said about the biology. It's like it's a different biology, a different nervous system to be able to endure such suffering and still to be just so beautiful and graceful it's it's um it's like nothing I've ever learned of before.
By the way, you said that her name is Marichka. So
Yeah,
my name is actually like Maria in the
yeah,
documents,
yeah.
Mariah. But if we say about Ukrainian versions of my name, so Marichka, it is also my name. So you can call me like Marichka. I don't mind. So basically, you can use all forms of my name. So
Yeah,
so,
Maria is spelled many different ways as
yeah,
well.
yeah. So like Maria with Mariah, Maria, Mary.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
there
yeah.
are a lot of versions, and I don't mind. Like you can call, you can choose a version. So for me, it's like
My
totally.
my one son, my middle son is Luca, and I like that name because it can also be Eastern European.
Yeah, yeah. So I know
It's
also like
yeah. Mhm.
series, and we also like during Ukrainian literature lessons. So there are a lot of texts and novels where the main protagonist name is Luka, or for example Ivan,
Beautiful.
also Ivan. So yeah.
I
So
love that name. I still love it so much, even though it's my son's name and he's 19. I still think it's the most beautiful name.
yeah, it is beautiful indeed.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So right now we are coming to a part when I'm going to sing you. So and
Okay.
I prepared another song, but then you said about Ukrainian anthem, and I thought maybe I should sing it. So if you want, I can sing this. And I think you wouldn't believe me, but before you joined the conversation, I like scrolled down my social media, and Ukraine played today like football against Romania, and
Woo!
there was also a Ukrainian anthem like before
Okay.
every game.
Sure.
So I
Yeah.
was like already singing it. So yeah, like I prepared
It's
for it.
beautiful.
So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Ще не вмерла України ні слава, ні воля. Ще нам, браття українці, усміхнеться доля. Згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці, запануєм і ми, браття, у своїй сторонці, душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду, душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що ми браття козацького роду.
That was gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
That was so beautiful. I was singing along a little bit. I hope that's okay.
Of
I couldn't
course,
resist. I
of
couldn't
course.
resist. It was
No, that's
beautiful.
like everyone. If you can't resist, you should sing. So,
Hey, where are you in the world today, right now?
so right now I'm in Germany as a refugee. So, yeah.
And where's your family?
So I'm here with my mother and my sister and my aunt and cousin. But my father and my grandparents, like on the both sides, they are in Ukraine and also
Oh,
cousins.
wow. A lot of the older generation stayed behind, huh?
Yeah. So for example, I mentioned my great grandma who survived
Mhm.
Holodomor, and
Yeah.
like she survived a lot of things, and she can't really imagine like leaving Ukraine. And I think she will survive also this war. So she is really a strong person, a strong woman. So yeah.
Wow. Please give my love to your family.
Of course, I think so. My family watches my every
Oh,
interview,
good.
so
Yeah,
they will
yeah.
watch this interview. Yeah, so
Well, they should be so, so proud of you, Mariah. You're extraordinary.
thank you,
Mhm.
thank you very much. Thank you for for doing this interview with me. So it
My
was a
pleasure.
pleasure to talk with you, to get to know your ideas, and I think they are really
Mhm.
interesting to listen. And
Mhm.
I
Oh,
totally agree with all of ideas you have mentioned earlier. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I was talking to my niece the other day in Manitoba, and I can't remember what we were talking about, and I said something, and she said, "Well, you go so deep." And I said, "Well, I can't help myself."
No, that's cool.
But
That is
hey,
really awesome and unique.
you know it's important that some people go deep, and it's
Yeah.
important that some people stay really light. Because, I noticed in my life when I have had tragic things happen, Mariah, there are some people who swoop in and they can go deep and they can hold it, and it's no problem for them. And then there are other people who they stand on the sideline a little bit, and they're just, kind of guarding their light, right?
Yeah. Oh no.
Hi, I'm so sorry.
It's all
So,
right. It's all right.
can we finish the interview with me in a different position? Is that okay?
Yes, of course. It happens, like
Yeah.
technological
I don't
problems.
know why it drained. My battery was at like 50%, and it just, I don't know. And you know what? I just did the update.
Yeah.
And every time I do the update, I don't like it. So I woke up and my phone said hello and was saying hello in different languages. And I was like, what is happening? And I guess I gave it permission to do the update. Anyway,
Yeah, it happens.
I want to finish what I was saying,
Yeah.
which was that when I've had tragedy in my life, my first feeling when the people who stayed on the sidelines more, they weren't like, they didn't swoop in for me and they couldn't go deep. They stayed, like kind of more light fare, right? I was judgmental of that. I admit it. And I didn't like react to it. I just took note. Why this person? I would have thought that they would have come close, but they didn't. And then what I realized is that, everybody is different and we all have like a different tone. If like it's almost like a people and personalities are like this palette, right, to the soul of humankind. And like,
Yeah, definitely.
I think, right. And like in retrospect, the friends that stayed in the light and couldn't go to the darkness and didn't swoop in, I'm not mad at that, because what they did was they offered me like this place that was preserved. I don't have to talk to everybody about my deep dark moment. There's someone that I have light with, and I mean, I'm married to my husband and we've been together almost 30 years, but I'm not supposed to give him everything, like all day, everything. It's important to it's important to respect and understand the needs of everybody. And when we do, it helps us in sort of our journey and our dignity, and maybe in our grace, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but anyway.
So, yeah, thank you very much for this interview. I hope that we will meet someday in
Yes,
Canada,
we will. Absolutely.
in
Yes.
Ukraine after the war.
Yes.
So we are waiting
Yes.
for you.
Okay. Yeah, I really look forward to that day, Mariah, and thank you for bringing the Ukrainian way to people everywhere with this amazing work you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Keep going, my love. Keep going. Okay.
Thank you. And we are waiting also for your magic. And also, I hope that the project with rescuing Ukrainian children will also work, and it will have a big impact and save a lot of children. So thank you very much for which you are doing right now.
Oh, I'm so honored to help any way I can.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mom. Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day and bye.
You too, darling. Yeah, stay in touch, okay?
Yes.
Be
Yes,
strong.
definitely.
Be strong.
Thank
Okay,
you.
love to your family. Okay,
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Bye.